Most students walk to class or cross the road without thinking twice. But what if these everyday activities were actually challenges? For disabled students at Stellenbosch University, getting from point A to point B is one of the many struggles they face on a daily basis. Sydney Barrington went to Pioneer School for the Blind in Worcester, where her surroundings were specially designed for her disability. Since coming to Stellenbosch to study BA Humanities, she has had to learn to adjust to an environment fit for able-bodied students. Despite this, she manages to lead as much of a normal student life as she can.
People don't talk to us, they'll talk to the dog, but they don't, bother to greet you, which is kind of perceived as a bit rude. Other challenges are mainly social. For example, people don't really know how to approach us often, and if we're with a friend who is not disabled, they'll rather speak to them.
Karine Hubert was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at birth, but her mind is as sharp as her able-bodied peers. For most of her life, she depended on others to push her around, but life became a lot easier for Karine when she started using an electrical chair. She says that while most students are helpful, there is still a lack of awareness on campus that sometimes makes movement difficult.
I remember at the BA building, I used the side entrance, and at the side entrance there's also motorbike parking. So it happened quite a few times in my second year that motorbikes would park in front of the ramp, and then there wouldn't be enough space for me to get in behind the motorbike and the ramp, so that would basically mean I wouldn't be able to get up. It just so annoys me when everybody just has to take the lift and then I have to wait 15 minutes. It happened once that I think I was on the third floor of some other building, and the lift came by me 3 times that it was full, and I had to wait, for the next one and for the next one to come.
How many of us use GPS systems or maps when we get to new places? We also have the ability to look around and see which routes would be easiest. These students do not always have this luxury.
Yes, new places are very difficult. For example, the campus for me now is easy. This goes for the guide dog too, because guide dogs don't naturally know where to go. You need to tell them where to go, in terms of, you can't just say, arts building, and they'll take you there.
Roughly 5.4% of the South African population is disabled. That is more than 2.5 million people that face similar navigational challenges. A team at Stellenbosch University has taken this challenge on to try and improve the lives of disabled people. Arno Barnard is a thesis advisor in the Electronic Engineering Department. He is currently overseeing the development of a new website, Free Move.
So the question is, where are people going? And if we can identify the routes that they do use, we can identify where would be the best place to do improvements on the roads. So the idea was here that we give a device to someone that can track their movement, and through that, after anonymizing that data, we can then identify what roads they are using.
Solms Dijkman, one of Arno's honour students, is working to transform the way infrastructure is developed for people with disabilities.
So I'm hoping to, at least by the end of the year, build a functional prototype, like something that'll actually work. You should be able to give it to a person, they should be able to carry it around for at least a week or 2 without having to bother to charge it. It would update the data automatically over the internet to a website, and then people can log into this website and then see some sort of heat maps of where routes are being used or where money can be spent.
Other disabled students at the university feel that there will be pros and cons when it comes to navigational devices.
People really think, okay, why don't you just use your GPS and walk like that? But I sort of like the fact that for instance, if there are a lot of cars on the sidewalk, which happens a lot, unfortunately, my dog can see them and go around them. If I walk with my GPS, I don't see that happening. Exactly. I'm going to bump into everything. No.
But I have in the past used apps on my cell phone that works with Google Maps navigation. We use it, for instance, to find Geno's one time. And it worked, but it took you to the vicinity of Geno's, and it just said, you have reached your destination, which is not enough for me.
Other technology developments are in the pipeline that aim to improve the lives of people on the campus. Marsha Liner Clearfast works at the Office for Students with Special Needs at Stellenbosch University.
Yeah, I think technology is like just, it's just amazing what it can actually do. Blind people can do so many things, that they would not have been able to do. So I think it's really been a great resource for people.
I suppose if I couldn't work on a computer, I would be pretty lost in terms of studies, and it takes a lot longer to read something that's actually in Braille than it is to read it on the computer. And it definitely helps with communication. I mean, you can just imagine emails and that kind of thing. Most of us work with a program that reads everything on the screen. So we study on the computer with a program that reads everything on the screen. It's called a screen reader.
What? According to Mariettis, Jeremiah Rossi, left parent 2011:321, right parent, global production network, left parent, GPN, right parent, analysis, quote examine, left bracket, S, right bracket, not only the for cash action between left firms and suppliers, but also the whole range of actors.
We see new technology as a cell phone upgrade or faster internet. But for disabled students, these advancements have given them a freedom that they otherwise would not have known.
I can just do whatever I want now. Like, I can go wherever I want to. If I decide it's a nice day, I want to go for a walk, I don't need to find somebody else to ask them, will you go for a walk with me, And for me, that level of independence and that actual normalcy that comes from that has been really something special, because it testifies to the fact that I can actually embrace a normal life.